Welcome back to the Workbench. This is where we discuss ceiling fan history, trivia, and technical information. Today we're going to talk about SMC. If you're involved in ceiling fans at all, I'm sure you know SMC. They've been a huge presence in manufacturing and importing ceiling fans since the 50s. They've been a supplier for most major retailers in the US and other countries, and a lot of collectors like SMC fans. So let's get into it. They were founded in 1952 in Hong Kong by Young Yao as a manufacturer of ceiling fans and small appliances. In 1955, they became the first exporter of ceiling fans from Hong Kong into the US and other countries. In 1962, they filed their first patents for ceiling fans. SMC has a lot of ceiling fan patents. We're not going to talk about all of them. We'll talk about some of them. In 1966, they complete the Shell Industrial Building in Hong Kong as their headquarters. So by 1966, less than 20 years in business, they're a big enough presence to have their own industrial complex with their name on it. In 1970, they incorporate as the Shell Electric Manufacturing Company Limited. In 1973, they first advertise in the U.S. So up until then, there's just been, importers bringing in small quantities of SMC fans, but in 1973, they actually started advertising in the U.S. In 1978, they established the first overseas marketing office, SMC Marketing Corporation, in Los Angeles, California, to sell directly to Kmart, etc., bypassing the trading companies. So if you think about it, early on Home Depot used David Moss to bring in fans, and then later King of Fans. You can't just go to another country and import their products. You actually need a trading company to bring them in, deal with customs and all sorts of things like that, unless that company has an office headquarters is incorporated in the US. And SMC was the first company to do that. They founded a separate company in the US, SMC Marketing Corporation in Los Angeles, so that Kmart could go directly to them without having to deal with David Moss or whoever, Joe King of Fans, and buy their products to sell in stores directly without having to deal with a middleman. So that was a big deal. That was 1978. Also in 1978, they patented having the capacitor in the upper canopy, which is interesting because you don't normally see that in SMCs, but they have a patent for that dated 78. In 1979, they first show up as FANCO, so I'm assuming that the SMC Marketing Corporation used that as their brand name whenever they weren't being rebranded as, the house brand for whatever. So FANCO shows up in 79. In 1980, they patent a bottom mount spinner that I've never seen. It looks like a Laguna with blades bolted directly to the bottom with no blade brackets. That's 1980. 1981, big year. They patent the ornate A52. They patent their 3-speed motor windings. If you ever tested a 3-speed SMC, especially an early one, their motor design is different. They actually draw more current on low. They don't play well with solid state, but you get a beautiful range of speeds. And however SMC does that, they patented it, which is why I guess nobody else does it that way. If I probably read that patent in detail, I'd probably understand why those motors act the way they do. I've not read the patent in detail. It's several dozen pages of very boring technical speak. I'll do it one day. But I do find it interesting that they patented that design. They thought that was unique and competitive enough to have a patent for it. And again, it's a great range of speeds. It just doesn't work well with controls. So that was 81. Also in 81, they patent their hugger mounting bracket, which is significant for two reasons. First of all, if you've ever installed an SMC hugger, especially an early one, they mount different than any other fan company's huggers. So, they patented their own style of mounting bracket. But then also, that might be the first hugger ceiling fan. Moss Highline was 82. I know Union had some earlier on, but I couldn't find any from them dating back to 81. I couldn't find anything else as early as 81 for a hugger ceiling fan. So unless anyone has different information, I'm going to say that SMC invented the hugger ceiling fan in 1981. Please prove me wrong. So that's 81. In 85, SMC patented the detachable switch housing. I know I've previously incorrectly attributed it to Halsey. Other people have attributed it to Halsey, and I have repeated them. It's SMC, patented, 85. I skipped ahead a little bit because in 82, they started making microwave ovens, which I don't think I knew. They were the first microwave oven manufactured in Hong Kong. In 84, SMC became listed on the Stock Exchange of Hong Kong. And then 85, detachable switch housing. Sorry, I skipped ahead with that one. I got excited. 87, they established the first joint venture production facilities in mainland China. So they were the first company to have facilities in both Hong Kong and mainland China, which is significant because all of the manufacturing facilities in mainland China are affiliated with the state. You know, China being a communist country, which means in the classical definition, not like what you hear on the rhetoric on TV and stuff like that. Bernie Sanders is a communist, not that kind of thing. But in true communist fashion, it means the state owns the manufacturing facilities. That's what communism means. And so it's very difficult for other companies, especially from other countries, to set up manufacturing facilities, and SMC was the first one to do that. That is 87. Okay, 1990 is the last use of the FANCO name in advertising. 1992, they went into the taxi business. So they're diversifying quite a bit. 1993 is the last use of the SMC name in U.S. advertising. So that means after 1993, if you see SMC fans sold in the U.S., they're a store brand that's generally using that store's name or that store's house brand's name. Or I know sometimes Menards would still sell them as SMC, but they were not advertised as SMC necessarily. So 93 is the last use of the SMC name in advertising. Also in 93, they established a steel processing plant as a joint venture with Japan's Shinso Corporation. In 1995, they formed a joint corporation with Whirlpool into making more microwave ovens. So there was a joint Whirlpool SMC company for a while. Also in 1995, they went into the multimedia business with SMC Multimedia Products and Hyundai SMC Multimedia Products. Skip ahead to 2005, they acquired a majority interest in China Everbright Real Estate Development and expanded into the property development business. And in 2009, SMC was rebranded as China Everbright Real Estate Development. So it's the same thing that happened to Union and Evergo, which is after they made enough money in ceiling fans, they eventually gave up the ceiling fan company and went full-time into the real estate and property development business and eventually changed the name. Same thing. Evergo was still Evergo long after they got out of the ceiling fan business and went into the real estate business, and then eventually they dropped the Evergo name. SMC did the same thing. 2005, they went into the real estate business, and 2009 is when they dropped the SMC name. Also, I don't think it's listed here, but it's important to note that the reason why they didn't go into the real estate business sooner was, I don't think the founder of the company wanted to, but after he passed away and left the company to his son Billy is the one that took SMC from the ceiling fan business into the real estate business. So that was the 2000s. So it's a lot of information about SMC. I hope you have found this interesting. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, ring all the bells, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.